27 September 2020, Madhuban, Avyakt BapDada, Om Shanti, revised 27th March 1986. Murli's heading, Be Constantly Loving. Today, the Father, the ocean of love, has come to meet his loving children. This spiritual love makes every child an easy yogi. This love is an easy way to forget the whole of the old world. This love is the only powerful means to make every soul belong to the Father. Love is the foundation of Brahman life. Love is the basis of the sustenance needed to create a powerful life. All the elevated souls who have arrived personally in front of the Father have come here on the basis of their love. You come flying here with the wings of love and become residents of Madhuban. BapDada was seeing all you loving children, how all of you are loving. But what is the difference between you? Why do you become number wise? What is the reason for this? All of you are loving, but some of you are constantly loving, whereas others are just loving. And the third category are those who fulfill the responsibility of love according to the time. BapDada saw these three types of loving children because those who are constantly loving are merged in the love. They are always beyond having to make any effort or experiencing difficulty. Neither do they have to make effort nor do they experience anything to be difficult because they are constantly loving. The elements of nature and Maya become their servants from now on. That is, the constantly loving souls become the masters. Therefore, the elements of nature and Maya automatically become their servants. The elements of nature and Maya do not have the courage to make constantly loving souls use their time and thoughts for them. Every moment and every thought of constantly loving souls is for remembrance of the Father and for doing service. This is why Maya and the elements of nature know that such constantly loving children can never be dependent on them. Even in their thoughts, they are souls who have a right to all powers. The stage of constantly loving souls is praised as of those who belong to the one Father and none other. The Father is their world. The second type, the loving souls, definitely remain loving, but because they are not constant, their thoughts and through them their love sometimes goes in other directions in transforming themselves every now and again. They experience having to make effort and sometimes they experience difficulty, but very little. Whenever there is a subtle attack from the elements of nature or Maya, then because of love, they have remembrance very quickly and they very quickly transform themselves with their power of remembrance. However, some of their time and their thoughts are used in overcoming the difficulty and in making that effort. Sometimes their love becomes ordinary and at other times they remain absorbed in love. There continues to be a difference in their stage. Nevertheless, not too much of their time or their thoughts is wasted. This is why, although they are loving, they are not constantly loving, and they therefore become the second number. The third type are those who fulfill the responsibility of love according to the time. Such souls believe that true love cannot be received from anyone except the one Father, and that this spiritual love will make you elevated for all time. They have total knowledge, that is, understanding, and they still love just this life of love. However, because of not having controlling power due to their attachment to their own bodies or sanskar, or attachment to a particular own sanskar, attachment to the sanskar of a person or a position, or to a sanskar of having West thoughts, they carry a burden of West thoughts, or because they lack the power of the gathering, they are unable to be successful in a gathering. A situation in the gathering finishes their love and pulls them towards itself. Some of them always become disheartened very quickly. 1 minute they would be flying very high, but if you look at them the next minute, they would be disheartened even with themselves. This sanskar of becoming disheartened with themselves doesn't allow them to be constantly loving. Some type of sanskar attracts them towards situation or nature. They get into an upheaval, but then because they experience love and love the life of love, they are nevertheless able to remember the Father. They try to become merged in the Father's love once again. So, because of coming into upheaval according to the time and the situation, they sometimes have remembrance and sometimes are battling. Because they spend a greater part of their lives battling, their lives of being absorbed in love are then less in comparison. This is why they take the third number. Nevertheless, to be in the third number compared with all the souls of the world would still be said to be extremely elevated, because they have recognized the Father, they belong to the Father and the Brahmin family. They are at least called the most elevated Brahmin souls, the Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris. This is why, in comparison to the world, even they, means the third type, are loving souls. However, in comparison to perfection, they are the third number. So, all are loving but number wise. The number one constantly loving souls are constantly like lotus flowers, detached and extremely loving to the Father. Loving souls are detached and loving, but they are not powerfully victorious like the Father. They are not absorbed in love but are loving. Their special slogan is, I belong to you and I will remain yours. They constantly continue to sing this song. Nevertheless, they have love and they therefore remain 80% safe. However, there is still the word sometimes that comes in between. The word constantly is not used about them. The third number souls, because of repeatedly having to connect their love, also continue to make promises with love. That's it. From today, I will become like this. From now, I will do this. Because they know the difference, they make promises and they make effort. but one particular sanskar or other doesn't allow them to remain lost in love. An obstacle brings them down from the stage of being lost in love. Therefore, the word constantly cannot be used about them because they are sometimes like this and at other times like that. They still have one particular weakness or other. Such souls have very sweet heart to heart conversation with BapDada. They demonstrate having a lot of rights. They say the direction is from you, but you can also do it for us, and I will attain the reward of that. They say with love and a right, since you have made me belong to you, it is now up to you. The father says the father knows, but the child should at least accept it. However, those children say with a right, whether I accept it or not, you will have to accept me as I am. So the father still feels mercy for such children because they are Brahmin children after all. Therefore, he also gives special power through the instrument souls. However, some do take their power and transform themselves, whereas others, even though they receive power, they remain so lost in their own sanskars that they are unable to imbibe that power. If you give something nourishing to someone to eat and he doesn't eat it, what would happen? The father gives special love, and some do gradually become powerful and change from the third type of soul to the second type. However, because some of them are very careless, they are unable to take as much as they should. All three types of children are loving children. They all have the title of being loving children, but they are number wise. Today, it is the turn of Germany. The whole group is number one. You are number one. Close dwells because those who are equal also remain close, no matter how far away you may be physically. You are so close to the heart that you reside in the heart. Because you reside on the Father's heart throne, there is automatically no one except the Father in your hearts. Because in Brahman life, the Father makes a deal with the heart. You own his heart and you gave your hearts. You made a deal with your heart. Did you not? You stay with the Father in your hearts. Physically, some of you stay in one place and others in another place. If all of you were to stay here, what would you do sitting here? Even those who were living in Madhuban had to be sent out to do service. How else would the world be served? You have love for Father and for doing service. This is why, according to the drama, you have reached different places and become instruments for doing service there. So, this too is fixed as part of the drama. You have become instruments for serving your equals. Those from Germany are those who remain constantly happy. Since you are receiving the inheritance from the Father for all time so easily, why should you put aside that which you receive for all time and only take a little or for some time? The bestower is giving, and so why should those who are taking take any less? Therefore, always continue to swing in the swing of happiness. Always be conquerors of Maya, conquerors of nature. Be victorious and beat the drums of victory loudly in front of the world. Souls nowadays are either totally intoxicated with temporary facilities or they are weary with sorrow and peacelessness and are sleeping in such a deep sleep that they don't hear a little sound. Those who are lost in that type of intoxication have to be really shaken awake. You also really have to shake those who are fast asleep in a deep sleep to awaken them. So, what are those from Hamburg doing? It is a very good, powerful group. All of you have deep love for the Father and the study. Those who love this study remain constantly powerful to have love for the Father, that is for the Murlidhar, means the one who speaks the Murli, means to have love for the Murli. If you don't have love for the Murli, there cannot be love for the Murlidhar. No matter how much they say that they love the Father, but they don't have time for the study, the Father does not believe them. Where there is a deep love, no obstacles can remain. They will automatically end. Those who have love for the study and the Murli easily overcome all obstacles. With their flying stage, they go up above the obstacles which remain down below. For those who are in the flying stage, a mountain is like a stone. Those who have love for the study can have no excuses. Love enables anything difficult to become easy. Love for the Murli, love for the study, and love for the family become a fortress. And those who stay in this fortress remain safe. Both these specialities are making this group move forward. Because of love for the study and the family, you bring one another close with that impact. The instrument soul you have is also a loving soul, means a Pushpal Dadi. Love does not see the language. The language of love is more elevated than all other languages. Everyone remembers her. BapDada also remembers her. Baba is seeing very good practical proof. There is a growth in service. The more expansion you continue to have, the more blessings you will continue to receive from everyone as the fruit of becoming great souls. Only charitable souls become the souls who are worthy of worship. If you do not become a charitable soul at this time, you cannot become a soul worthy of worship in the future. It is also necessary to be a charitable soul. Acha. Selected questions and answers from Avyakt Murlis. Question: what is the special virtue, decoration and treasure of Brahmin life? Answer: contentment. When something is loved, you never leave that loved thing. Contentment is a speciality and it is a special mirror for transformation in Brahmin life. Where there is contentment, there is definitely happiness there. If there is no contentment in Brahmin life, then that is an ordinary life. Second question: what are the specialities of those who are dwellers of contentment? Answer: those who are dwellers of contentment never become discontented with themselves, with other souls, with their own sanskars, or with the influence of the atmosphere. They never say, I am content, but others are making me discontent. No matter what happens, jewels can never let go of their speciality of contentment. Third question. What are the signs of those who are always content? Answer. First point. Those who always remain content are automatically loved by everyone because contentment makes you loved by the Brahmin family. Second point. Others try to bring contented souls close to them and also want them to cooperate in an elevated task. Third point. The speciality of contentment itself makes you a golden chancellor for a task. Such souls do not need to say or think about anything. Fourth point, contentment itself enables there to be harmony with everyone's nature and sanskars. Contented souls are never afraid of anyone's nature or sanskars. Fifth point, everyone loves such souls with their heart. They are worthy of receiving everyone's love. The introduction of such souls is their contentment, and each one's heart's desire would be to talk to such souls and to sit with them. Sixth point, contented souls are constantly conquerors of Maya because they are obedient and always stay within the line of the codes of conduct. They recognize Maya from a distance. Next question. Why are you not able to recognize Maya at the right time, and why are you repeatedly deceived by her? Answer. The reason for not recognizing Maya is that you do not always follow the Father's elevated directions. Sometimes you follow them and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you remember him and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have zeal and enthusiasm and sometimes you don't. You do not always stay within the line of the directions, and so Maya deceives you at that time. Maya has a lot of power of discernment and she sees when you are weak, and so through that weakness she makes you belong to her. The door for Maya to enter is weakness. Next question. What is the easy way to become a conqueror of Maya? Answer. Constantly stay with the Father. To stay with him means automatically to stay within the line of the codes of conduct. You will then be freed from having to make effort to become free from each vice individually. When you stay with him, then as is the Father, so are you. You will automatically be colored by his company, and so do not let go of the seed or try to cut the branches. Today I have become a conqueror of lust. The next day I have to become a conqueror of anger. No, constantly be victorious. Simply keep this seed with you, and the seed of Maya will be burnt in such a way that no trace of it will remain. Acha, the spiritual father says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual children, and spiritual children says good morning and Namaste to the spiritual father. Blessing. May you be a merciful world benefactor who gives courage and enthusiasm to every soul. Explanation. Never say to a weak soul in the Brahmin family, you are weak. Constantly Let good words for every soul emerge from the lips of you, merciful world benefactor children, not words which would dishearten anyone, no matter how weak some may be, even if you have to give them a signal or teaching. First of all, make them powerful and then give them the teachings. First of all, plow the field with courage and enthusiasm and then sow the seeds, and each seed will then easily bear fruit. By doing this, the service of world benefit will become fast. Slogan: take blessings from the Father and experience being constantly full. Om Shanti.